not going to be doing anything right now, being that they're being followed. So it is such a stressful situation for a watch. Wow, they just get so close, and they just take such extreme risks. Well, if we could just
get somebody should reach out to the LAPD and say, put someone at Kester and Van Owen and someone at Kester and Sherman Way, and throw out a spike strip, because it's been going on 40 minutes now, and this guy has driven through that intersection 8, 9 times. No. So it's worth a shot, right?
8, 9 times.
Maybe they're not seeing what we're seeing. I'm not sure. There's a lot of chaos going on when the helicopter is making calls on the radio to alert all the other vehicles down there, the LAPD vehicles, the patrol cars, where the suspect's going, where to go, where they should head, where he's headed. But if he follows the same pattern, we're going to be back to Kester and Sherman Way again. We've seen it. So like I said, 7 or 8 times. It'd be a great place to throw out a spike strip and at least slow this vehicle down and reduce the risk of someone getting hurt.
Right, and I don't see the LAPD cruisers. Wow.
They backed off again. It's another thing we see, Colleen, from time to time. If a suspect stays in one area during a pursuit, what we're going to start to see is people coming out to watch. Just a moment ago, there was 5 or 6 individuals on the side, and they were waving at him when he drove by. And what happens, it gets out on social media, everybody starts to hear about it, and then you get people coming out on these streets just to take a look. We're at Vesper and Van Owen. We've been on that intersection several times, but it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing more of that as this pursuit continues to go on in this one area.
We're gonna let this
word will get out and people will come out to see.
I just can't get over how fast this driver is driving in these residential neighborhoods, because again, I'm glad to see those humps. We're looking at some video on the right side from earlier, and you can see that this driver finds themselves in peril, and then they need to get out of the situation. So you're looking on the left-hand side, you're seeing them taking speed bumps to slow down their rate of speed.
Colleen.
But then on the right, yes, Scott.
Colleen.
We got some new information.
Oh, okay.
Now we understand an armed kidnapping suspect. So it looks like this individual has kidnapped someone, possibly the victim that we know is at the hospital. So that just sort of, not just a stolen vehicle suspect. I mean, that's one thing, right? We have a victim has hurt somebody, and they've kidnapped somebody. So they're not going to back off on this one. They're going to stay on this individual. I don't know that they'll put patrol cars right behind him, but this is an individual they want to get off the street. Not only off this pursuit, but I mean off the street, because he's looking at quite a few major charges and a lot of jail time.
No kidding. And again, with those
oncoming traffic.
In oncoming traffic, we know that this person's desperate to get away. The windows are extremely tinted in the back and on the hatchback. We don't know if there is a victim or anybody else inside this vehicle. We don't know. Again, there are so many puzzle pieces here that we're trying to figure out how it all fits together. We don't know the kidnapping part, if that is the person who's in the hospital recovering. We don't know even what kind of injuries that person. We don't know if there's anybody in the car. So again, now when we keep saying it's sort of like a faucet with a little drip. We keep getting drip with new information because the police department is so busy trying to catch this driver. So the media doesn't get as much information. But again, now that we know that this is possibly an armed suspect who's been involved in the kidnapping, they're definitely not going to let this suspect go. They are going to stay on it.
Back into oncoming traffic. We're going to have a crash here, Colleen. What's happened in the last couple of minutes? What's happened in the last couple of moments, from what I can tell, is the suspect doesn't care about driving into oncoming traffic. He's driving into oncoming traffic without looking, going around some of the corners into oncoming traffic without really looking. And in a situation like that, I didn't really see that in his demeanor before, just what I've seen in the last 5 minutes or so, maybe less. But more erratic and not really caring about going into oncoming traffic. We almost had what appeared to be a head-on collision, and he was just lucky that he didn't slam into that person, because he made a turn, a tight left turn into oncoming traffic, and could not have seen that vehicle. He was just lucky it didn't slam into it. So we didn't think it would get worse, but it sort of has in the last couple of minutes, and that may change LAPD's procedure as well. They may get some patrol cars behind us. Stop now, and it looks like he may make a run for it. No, the suspect is backing up. I wouldn't know why. The patrol car's in front of him, patrol car right behind him.
What?
Now he's going backwards, pulling into a driveway, and then now getting away. What's down the street there, Marcel? Open up a little bit.
What I was going to say. Are there police or
patrol cars in front?
No.
I really believe, Colleen, because what we saw in the last 3 or 4 minutes with the suspect not looking and driving into oncoming traffic, I think they just figure, see people out on the street, they know what's in this area. I think what they decided is we've got to be behind him, because it's not like when we're behind him, we're encouraging him to drive more erratically. It's almost like he's trying to hurt someone on purpose. He's going into oncoming traffic without looking on some of these street corners and on some of these turns. And look at the speed, too. If you have a head-on here, somebody can die very quickly. The speeds are 60, 70 miles an hour. We're back on Cedros. We've been on Cedros 8 or 9 times as well. We were just on Kester again a moment ago, and we do understand that they're in the process of getting out some spike strips. So hopefully that will happen, and we'll get this thing slowed down, because right now, I mean, this is treacherous. This is frightening. It really is. It
really is frightening. And again, how you can be one step ahead of this driver. Yes, they do seem to be taking the same streets in this area, but not exactly the same. So you put a spike strip down on one street, and they're going to take a different one. But we do see that, you know, Van Owen, Vesper, we've seen Tobias. We've seen so many of the same streets where this driver feels very comfortable with the knowledge of this area. But again, I'm amazed that we're not seeing people out. I really am, Scott. I mean, we have kids.
We had a few people out right there. We got a person on the corner. They're trying to get some footage of it. They're shooting it with their phone. We're going to see more and more of this. We're on Van Owen. I bet you Nickel makes a right turn on Kester here in a moment. We'll see what happens. It could be wrong. But it's happened so many times into oncoming traffic. But there was one turn that was absolutely frightening. Made a left turn without seeing what was coming his way into oncoming traffic, and was just fortunate he did not head on with that individual. We understand there's a little more information. The LAPD is not. Oh, he turned on to Kester off Van Owen. Wow. There's information that they're not giving us.
He said that so displeased.
So that may be to protect someone who knows. We've got a erratic turn there on this surface street on Archwood. And certainly, Colleen, we hate to see this.
I wonder how long this is going to go on for.
We just hope that nobody gets hurt.
I know, and I just keep thinking about, you know, I have so many friends who live in these neighborhoods as well. There are so many homes here, and these are family neighborhoods, so I just keep worrying. Oh, what is that,
somebody
Scott?
threw something at him.
Threw something.
Yeah.
Somebody threw a chair at him.
Yes. And it didn't
so there's somebody who wants to end this.
Oh, he almost crashed.
Goodness. It's going to up the cadence again.
And there's a patrol car right behind him, and now he's slowed a little bit.
He might be running out of gas.
I'm not certain if that scared him, but that appeared to be just some random individual chucking a chair at the vehicle. Now look, you've got people out in the roadway. I mean, does that individual, they must know them, right? I mean, you wouldn't get out there into the street like that if maybe you weren't somehow affiliated with that individual. I mean, I'd see on the curb maybe, but to get out into that lane, at least for now, the suspect has slowed. There's 3 or 4 patrol cars behind him. And this is going to give LAPD some time, actually, to deploy officers to the front as well, just in case. Hold it right here, hold it, just in case it continues on. But it looks like, at least right now, the suspect is exiting the vehicle. They're going to want him to get down on the ground, maybe throw out the keys. They want to clear that vehicle. They want the suspect in custody first.
Got a tough welding job?
No.
Titanium welders from Harbor Freight make it easy. They're simple to set up and use with smart LCD.
The danger will be over. So there he is. It looks like he's complying. His hands are up. More than likely, he'll be told to turn around and back up towards officers. There you go. Hands on the head. A lot of times I ask them to pull up the shirt so they can check the waistband to see if he has a weapon. But right now, they're content to just have him back up. They're always concerned that there may be someone else inside the vehicle, so they don't rush the individual quite yet.
Pursuit is over.
That suspect in custody, get him face down on the pavement, move in where they think it's safe for them to move in, and then they can clear the vehicle. But fortunately, Colleen, it looks like the danger is over. This had the potential to hurt or kill someone, and from what we can tell, it's ending without incident. We don't believe the suspect hit anyone, although we do believe that suspect kidnapped someone.
Didn't think that's how
we're
going to wake up.
May have been injured because we do understand there's a victim.
We did.
Doing all the details at the hospital.
Yeah, and you can clearly see the suspect is doing what the officers are telling him to do right now, laying straight down. Again, this is still scary. It's never routine. They think that the person might be armed. At this point, hopefully that person is not armed, doesn't do anything to, scare the officers here. But you see, this is just not wise to come out and take video of this. You just never know what could happen when you're this close to
like,
a situation. I just look at that person
they probably
with the
like
phone,
move.
and I think that this
Yeah.
is
Get out
not
the
the
way.
right place.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just
They're in the line of
absolutely
fire.
not
If this
a-
turned into a gun battle with someone
Right.
inside that vehicle, they're in the line of fire.
Exactly.
It was really interesting, Colleen. You know, someone
Exactly.
threw a chair
Exactly.
Right.
at that vehicle,
Their
and after that, he
commentary
came around the
is-
corner and slowed down, and then there was a
Is
woman
impeccable.
in the lane.
In the middle.
And it looks like more than likely she may have known him because she was trying to get him to stop and give himself up. That's what it looked like.
Right, and it does make you think it had to be it. I agree with you in the idea that that person may have known this person saying, "Okay, stop now." Like they're watching, they're hearing the helicopters as well, but it does look
Yeah,
like
it's
a
all over,
peaceful surrender
fortunately.
right there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nobody hurt.
Again,
We don't know about the victim, but nobody hurt in the pursuit, and that's pretty incredible after so many close calls at such a high rate of speed.
And you know, Scott, we want to take a moment where you can see earlier video, you can see this. This is that moment when you see someone stand behind their gate and they threw that chair. And that sort of stopped, that took that driver out of the trance of keep on driving, boom. And then they turned the corner, and then we're going to see the people standing in the middle of the street where they're trying to stop this driver. But again, there's the chair, there's that person.